Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike in the Man Cave of Madness. It is after midnight and we are doing an unboxing of this game here, Age of Gods. Now, we've done some unboxing. This one, Monstrous, game of Mythic Mayhem. This is Greek gods throwing down monsters upon the cities and the land. This is Pantheon. This is an independently produced card game, various pantheons, including the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Chinese, the Norse gods, etc. Those are because of the design I'm working on, a game in the mythology space, sort of like a hero's journey game where it's Jason the Argonauts or the labors of Hercules or Odysseus coming home. That's the design space I'm working on, trying to decide what elements to put in my card game, what exactly the focus should be, and I'm looking through various games here. So I'm taking a look at Age of Gods. This is from Asmodee for 3 to 5 players. Let's take this guy to the shrink. This is the revised edition here. All right. Handy Waster Shucker of Power +2. Get that. Shrink. There we go. All right. And let's look at the back of the box. Let's see, where do we want to zoom in? About there, I would say. That is still kind of small. There, that's better. Well, it's trying to focus, but the light wasn't really great. Contents of the box: a game board, 151 race tokens. I guess there's a bunch of different races of men and humanoids and things like elves and dwarves and such. 50 wonder tokens, 72 action cards, 12 different god cards, 1 die, a rules booklet, and a player guide. All right, so it's got a little humorous, not so humorous bit back here. You know, the gods created the world, let there be light and all that stuff. They created the animals, plants, livestock, etc. Well, they finished on the 7th day. Everything was complete and the gods rested. To commemorate it, the gods consecrated the day. But on Earth, it was the first day of war between the races. Yes, the humans and other races, they started fighting right away. So, you have 12 unique different gods to choose from. 24 different races. There's barbarians, gargoyles, elves, lizardmen, monks, hookers. I'm just picking through a few of them. Manage your military and technological progression. Keep your agenda well concealed. The greatest conqueror is only real until the last minute. So, I'll zoom out a little bit. We can see here it's kind of a board game. Looks like little, area controlled dudes on a map, somewhat cardboard tokens, but card driven. My game's gonna be just strictly cards, a card game. So I'm not sure mechanics wise much that I might see here that would bring inspiration to me, but I'm gonna zoom out a little bit as we often look at some of these components. We need a little broader view. But I'm sort of wanting to look at, elements of what kind of monsters or races or hazards, events that they include, things like that, to help inform my decision on what I want to include, not wanting to repeat what other games have done, but there's certain things that people might come to expect to have in certain genres of games, and you don't want to be missing something that they expect. And it's nice to have some unexpected stuff too, but if certain things are like pretty standard and people might be disappointed if something's not in there, then yeah, you maybe better include it. All right, so table of contents, Wrath table, Divine Wrath table, Earthquakes, Famines, Tidal Waves, Waking Dragons, Epidemics, Civil War, list of the abilities of the different races. Amazons can pillage. I'm not going to read them all. Barbarians have Murderous Frenzy. The Centaurs have Cultural Exchange. Chaos. Creatures look kind of like demons here. They have Mutations. Dark Elves have Dark Magic. Dwarves have fortresses. Fairies have confusion. Gargoyles have flight. Giants have immensity. It's an interesting way to phrase that. Etc. You won't read them. Well, the humans. What are humans? They have holy war. Oh, great. Yeah. We're all about warfare. Lizardmen, cave network, monks, necromancers, orcs, nomads, pirates. They have ships, of course. Sorcerers have a vortex. All right, so many, what was there's 24 races, right? Yeah. That's quite a bit. Especially these of different gods. There's a god of trickery. Bijolfa, never heard of that one. Bifrons, Cephalus, okay, that's a name that's familiar. Crowl. As in Loki, I would guess. Novalis. Some of these are made up. Some of these are like hybrids of names from Sharer. That sounds familiar. Cilia, Triz, Vorax. Most of these sound like made up or hybrids of various mythologies. Got a nice glossary here. Destroy a population token, destroy a territory, technology level, take control, Well of Souls, represent a race, reveal, questions and answers, a little question and answers. So those aren't too long. That's 16 pages of rule, including the front cover, the back cover showing the different races and other tokens, modifiers, pluses, minuses, hatred, love, those like status markers. Okay, so that's the player's guide. Okay, this is the actual rules. So it looks about this. Okay, that's a reprint. That's this reprint is the same. 15, 16. Okay, so these are small pages too. Lots of illustrations. Victory conditions. Destiny cards that you've got. Scoring points for territories. Is there a Divine Wrath? Combat phase, fortification phase. Destiny phase. Beginning of turns 1, 3, 5, and 7, each player receives a random face-down Destiny card. Okay, so you get them incrementally throughout. You don't know all of them at the start. So some of your emphasis might change. You start working on, one card, but then, you might think, well, okay, that's maybe too tough. I'll switch to something else. You never know. So that adds some nice dynamism to the game. You're incrementally building on what your known conditions are. That lets you sort of change your emphasis and not get locked in like, oh, I'm stuck because someone else really screwed me over. All right, so that board there, much more abstract than I was expecting to see. A little more terrainish type looking than just colors. Well, here, okay, maybe this is like an overlay. This is like probably a control. If the map looks like this, which we will see, we'll get it out. This looks like where people start, and this is like their zone of influence, the area that they start in or near. So the map does not look like this. It looks more like that. All right, so that's not too bad. All right, let's keep going with that stuff here. So they actually have a separate plastic bag to protect the mounted board. I don't really know if that's necessary, but they seem to do it. It's not in the Ziploc. I'm going to have to tear it. Got it started with the magical oyster circle of power. There we go. All right, so, all right, this is weird. I can already see there's something bent here a little bit. There looks like filler in here. So that's cardboard filler, but this edge of the mat board, even though it was in the plastic with the cardboard protection, something moved around enough there to scrape and scratch that. All right, this is weird. Okay, so it folds out. Okay, I'm gonna move a couple things around here. All right, come on, buddy. do I have it upside down? No, there's writing pointing in both directions. I'm going to move this. Excuse my blockage. All right, because here's this logo. So up here at the top, we have some writing that would be facing the players on that side of the board. And this track here has the names on both sides, facing either side of the board. Down here, distribute races. This is the turn tracks. Look like there's 9 turns. 1, 3, 5, 7 is when the Destiny comes out. You're distributing races, interesting, of a certain size. So this was this categorization, size 4, 3, 2, 1. Size. I mean, halflings are really halflings. There's giants here. Halflings, lizard men. So size might be more the size of their influence, the size of how many spaces they start with. I don't know. Not their physical size, I guess. Now, it's kind of weird, interesting that, yeah, so they have some of the artwork, the perspective from one direction. Some of these are for those guys. So the top of the board for the artwork is oriented towards the player down here looking at it, whereas the Divine Wrath and action phase and this information is oriented to them. This is oriented to them, but this part of the graphics is oriented to the person sitting on that side. That's an odd choice. I'm sure that's something you can get used to, but that's a little weird. I like the map. I do. It's not easy to recognize who is supposed to be what. Maybe the cards that the different races where they come on might be very obvious if you have this exact picture, but you still might have to hunt around until you're familiar. You know, here that's a serpent-headed dude. Was that the lizard men or is that something else? I don't know. Well, let's see what else was in the box. We had some counters here. All right. Looks like about 3 or 4 sheets. Because I'm not going to take them out at this point right now. 4, 4, 4. It looks like each. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So some of them have, well, without looking, yeah, I'm going to have to open it. I'm too curious. Now, then maybe that's, again, that size that I was talking about. The number of total army tokens that they have. Might be related to that. So these, I think, are control markers. Well, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that say humans. And here's the 8. And those were orcs. So humans were down here, orcs were down there. So the size 4 looks like they got 8. Dwarves are in there. They got 8. Barbarians are in there. They have 8. All right, so there's a definite pattern. Now, goblins, were in the size 3. There's 1 here. There's got to be more elsewhere. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's actually 9 goblins. Okay, now my whole theory's blown. All right. Size 3 goblins, but I see 9 of them. Gargoyles, 4. Gargoyles are in the size 2 group. Amazons, 4 in the size 2 group. So there appears to be a pattern, but goblins sort of broke the rules. Monks only have 2. Sorcerers only have 2. Chaos only has 2. I don't see Chaos on this list on the side over there. Giants, 2. Oh, no. Chaos has a lot more. 7, 8. So they must be down here. Okay, they are. They're a big one. Okay, because I only saw those 2 and I didn't see these down here. So anyway, so we've got various modification markers, status. There was love, hate, vortex, dwarven fortress. Goblins, actually, so goblins are a weird one. Goblins appear to have 9 units, but they're a size 3. What were some of the other size 3? Dark elves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that would be less than 8, but for some reason goblins have 9. Centaurs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Voracious, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So everything seems to follow the pattern. Centaurs were 6. Pirates are 4 at size 2, except goblins. Goblins do not follow the pattern because goblins had more than everyone else. Yes, they had 9. And they're size 3. So I don't know why that is. You tell me, folks. All right, so that is the counters. There is indeed 1 die. These are tokens. I don't remember what they said, what kind of tokens these were. These are probably well, there's only 1 color of them. I don't know what these represent. Some kind of wealth, loot, something. And 8 deck of cards. Just checked under the insert. Nothing hiding underneath. Boom, boom, boom. 50 wooden tokens. It just says wooden tokens. It didn't really say what kind it was. All right. Yes, there. We can get into this part easily with our unshrinker, oyster shucker of power. Age of Gods. Okay, see, they're slightly small cards. They're not tiny cards. I don't know if there's a name for this particular size of cards, but they're not standard playing cards. Are not, Magic the Gather size. They're definitely smaller. These remind me sort of like of talisman size cards. Maybe a little bigger, though. Maybe the talisman cards are smaller. Well, once upon a time, I don't know what they are now. So these are going to be the 12 gods here. Yep. All right. Let's see. If I zoom in a little bit, point down a little bit, then I might be holding them at a spot that you can see them. All right. So what does this represent? Voracious Observer. This is, I think, the special power of that race. But it's not. So wait a minute. So these are both Voracious Absorption. This is a 3 on the back. These have a certain standard size. There are 3 total of those. Sorcerer's Vortex. Well, but there's 3 of those. So maybe that number I don't know, some sequential number. Don't know. That's not the, I won't spend too much time trying to figure that out, but yeah, see, here now is a 2, which is the pirates and their ships. So they have to do with their special abilities. Wait, are pirates, is it the size? It's the size. All right, pirates are size 2. Sorcerers are indeed size 1. The voracious were size 3, etc. Okay. Size 4. Okay, so. So how these cards are used, how you divvy them up, draw them, shuffle them, all that stuff. So that whole distribute races of size 4, blah, blah, blah. That's going to be all this kind of stuff. How that actually works. Which gods get control of which things, not sure. So, there does not appear to be anything that looks like event cards. They all have to do with their special ability. Gargoyles, flight, launch an attack on a non-coastal territory from another non-coastal territory. Attack with a bonus of 2 points. So I'm assuming, you know, normally attack, it's based on your number of armies, and you're going to roll a die. I don't know if you know, just add 1 for each army you've got, or I don't know how that's going to work. You should only have 1 die. Because if you have multiple sides, like you each want to roll a die at the same time and see who rolls higher, modified by their troops or something. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. Yep. So I will look through this. There's not a lot here that's really mythologically related in terms of, you know, these, you know, there's no Medusas, there are centaurs, but there's no Cyclops. So I'm not sure to what degree I will find things in my look, but I will look through here. The gods, trickery, death, again, thinking about some of the attributes that they do and whether, you know, using the Greek gods, which ones do you want involved? Normally it was, you know, the sea voyages, it was, you know, good old Poseidon. Sometimes you had, you know, Athena appearing and Zeus was doing his stuff and whomever, you know, but some of these ideas in here of their various powers might inspire me to add some lesser gods or demigods or something into my game. So that's 23 minutes. I'm going to spend a minute or two trying to see if I can actually find quick mechanics of combat. Rules of the game. Destiny phase. Fortification. Combat phase. Each player in turn must launch an attack. It's not optional. Launch an attack. And only one during this phase is obligatory. Well, that's interesting. Somewhat disappointing, but it also, I think, helps games move faster. I mean, you have to decide where I'm going to attack, but you've got one attack and that's it. And then when you're done, it's on to the next person, I guess. So, player chooses the attacking territory, which must contain a population token. So that's what those gray things are, population. So you've got them in squares, the other markers like who controls what territories and the population marker. I'm making an assumption, maybe that's the population marker and that's something else. Nope. Yeah, see right here, fortification phase. The wooden tokens are fortifications. These are population markers. All right, so we should be looking over here. It's probably I looked at this above here, but like it says fortification phase. So that's the problem when I meander through these and sort of do a quick look. Sometimes I am wrong, dead wrong, but other times I find some interesting insights. So, following 4 modifiers of the die roll. If the target is fortified, you get a -1. If the target contains a city, that's the red borders. That's the city. -1. Technology level of the attacking race plus X. Technology of the defending race. So if you have a net bonus, you'll get a minus or a plus. Minus for fort, minus for city. Special abilities of races and gods grant bonuses. Player rolls a die. On a 3 or higher, so you're trying to roll a 3 or higher in the die 6. So 1 or 2 you fail, 3 or higher you succeed in taking over the territory. Any population token where there is destroyed, as well as any fortification, and is replaced by a population token of the attacking race. So you push and you shove and you push and you shove. So attacking at even in an area with no fortification, no city, where you have the same technology, you have a 2/3 chance of succeeding because you're just trying to roll a 3 or higher. So on a 1 or 2, you miss. And then his turn, he could attack back. So back and forth, potentially. That's interesting. It's simple. It's very simple. This game I play kind of quick, but I'll just have to see how it plays out. So, but there you go, folks. This is Age of Gods from Asmodee, revised edition. 12 different gods, 24 different races, contending for the land after the gods had created the world. Who gets the most control? All right. So that's it, folks. Meandering Mike, Man Cave of Madness. Looks interesting. I would like to give it a try, see how it plays. There is hiddenness from the Destiny cards. You can still kind of semi-fudge through that and play solitaire. I think even though it says 2 to 5 players, I can play multi-position solitaire and play through those and not necessarily reveal everything about the Destiny cards or just play with multiple personalities. And yes, of course, plastibands. I will use plastibands on the cards. Do not use rubber bands. No. Get yourself some plastibands. No, I do not own stock in the company. They'll kind of get called Conserve. Available on Amazon. There's different sizes. I get a variety. But that's it, folks. Meandering Mike, Man Cave of Madness. We have meandered through almost 28 minutes. So all you good folks out there, take care. Don't anger the gods. And ciao.